He looked a lot bigger, punching a lot harder, and obviously, yeah, he's got to move his head, isn't he? Like that's an obvious thing. He's got to move his head more, and I think he's going to do the business. I think he's going to smash him this time.
Pro boxing fans here in London. Something a bit different this one. We are a bowling alley. I saw you actually throwing a few balls out there. You were decent, Tommy. Is this something you do in your spare time, or is it just one-off?
Nah, you know what? Yeah, I come in all smooth. Yeah, with Harry and that. Picked up the first ball, strike straight away. And I've missed everyone since. I think it's just beginner's luck. But I never go bowling. To tell you the truth, I never go. Yeah.
We'll tell BT TNT to take the left serve out and just put the first one in. Let's talk about why you're here. Obviously, on the undercard of Joe Joyce versus Zhilei Zhang, Part 2. You were out in Vegas. I saw your Instagram. Seems to be some intense training going on there. Just talk to me about how things were out in Vegas.
Yeah, I've had a great training camp this time round. All my training camps have been good, shall I say. This one's been real tough though. I've been over to Vegas with Joe Joyce, sparring him. See, he's preparing for Zhang for this card, so he's a southpaw. Made sense. And I come back from Vegas sparring Jordan Thompson. Very good fighter, man. Very, very good fighter. Craig Richard sparred him a few times, and then a few boys from my gym. So I've had some great sparring for this camp. I've mixed it with these boys, so just got to do the business on Saturday night. That's where it counts.
See, there's a lot of talk about you. There's a lot of hype behind you because you seem to be delivering these knockouts, and it's highlight reel knockouts. So a lot of people are looking at you thinking, this guy could be the next star. When you step in the ring and you're sparring against these people who are a lot more experienced, how good is it for you that you're picking up this experience along the way whilst you're doing what you're doing in the ring right now? Yeah,
it's great because I'm in there mixing it with these top boys. I'm learning still as well. I'm very young. I'm only 21 years old, but I'm learning with these top guys. And then when I'm fighting, I'm putting it into practice, and obviously a lot of the time they're not seeing the end of the bell, so it's good.
One thing I didn't realise, obviously Alois Jr. is still on the undercard, and he was here, and I didn't realise there was a bit of needle between you two. What's that about?
I wouldn't say there's no needle, mate. He just said a couple of things. I said a few things to him, but I mean, when we meet, but I'm not going to sit here and slag anyone off on camera now because I've got to get through Saturday first. I've got a tough opponent, so there's no point sitting and saying anything like that. But I mean, when we meet each other, when it's announced on Instagram, then we'll talk about it.
What's the plan for yourself? Obviously, now we're in September. I know you want to get a couple more fights. If you can get another fight in before the end of the year after this. But what is the plan for yourself? And when are you going to start targeting the titles that you want at this stage?
Yeah, I think it'll be September 21st this Saturday, innit? So I hope to get one more in before the end of the year, and then maybe next year start stepping up to 8 rounds. Before you know it, I'll be at title contention or whatever, title level to fight at that. But I mean, there's no rush, mate. I'm only 21 years old. There's no rush at all. So I said to him, "What is the rush?" So really, there's no rush, is there?
Forget you're 21. You're a unit. That's why. But let's talk about Joe. Obviously, you've been out with Joe in Vegas. I've spoken to a lot of fighters in the meantime, asking them about what Joe needs to do differently. I spoke to David Hay. David said, listen, it's quite simple. Joe Joyce needs to move his head a lot more. But do you see that in training now? Is Joe a lot more fluid? Do you see him coming in a lot heavier? A lot of people are criticising that he wasn't heavy enough for Zhang. This time around, do you see him coming in a lot heavier?
Yeah, I think he's a lot bigger now when I see him. I sparred him a couple of weeks ago. I think one of my last spars, he looked a lot bigger, punching a lot harder. And obviously, yeah, he's got to move his head, isn't he? Like that's an obvious thing. He's got to move his head more, and I think he's going to do the business. I think he's going to smash him this time. I think when you've been unbeaten, undefeated, and you get your first loss, I think it really it will stick in your mind that you got to do things different and you got to amp it up. So I've been living with Joe Joyce out in Vegas for a few weeks, and you know what? He's been putting the graft, and I tell you that he's been training very hard. So I think he's very much up for it, and I believe he can do it.
You did talk about Jordan Thompson as well. I wasn't going to ask you, but now you've spoke about it. Obviously, he's preparing for a world title fight against Joe Joyce. How is he looking? How was that spar with him?
Yeah, I've done loads of rounds with Jordan. I think he was probably one of my main sparring partners for this camp, but he's got fast hands, fast feet, he can punch hard, and I think he's actually a nice guy. When I'm speaking to him out of the ring and that, he's a nice guy, and he's given me some good advice. I believe he can beat that guy. He's got to use his range, and he's he's long range, he's height, and he's got good power. I think he's got to really enforce that with that JO upper tire. And you know what? If he wins that world title, he's in the big time then, isn't he? So once you're a world champion, the rest is history. You're in the mix.
100%. Do you want to quickly talk about another fight outside of this card? Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou. Is that something that you're going to be looking forward to? Is that something you'll just be watching the highlights of?
Yeah, no, I'll watch it. I'll watch all the big fights like that. Seen a lot of people have been slating it a little bit because it's not Wilder or Joshua or any, you know what I mean, or Usyk, but it's a good event. You know, I think it does good for boxing and brings eyes to the sport. And yeah, I think that guy can punch, can't he? I heard everyone says that he can punch hard, so who knows what's going to happen. But me personally, I think Fury will smash him. You know, I think it'll be very one-sided, and I think he'll dominate him, if not stop him. But it's a good event for boxing as a whole, I think.
Talking about Usyk, obviously he fought Daniel Dubois a couple of weeks ago. A few people online are saying, listen, maybe that was a declining performance from Usyk. First of all, did you watch the fight? If so, what did you make of Usyk's performance against Dubois?
Yeah, I think I did watch the fight, yeah. And I think, I don't know how to explain it really. I think Usyk, he does enough. He just fell over. He just comes straight on his head. Sorry. Yeah, jeez. He's just, yeah, I think, sorry, yeah. Yeah, I think Usyk's on. He had a good fight with Dubois. I think that shot that he hit him with, if the ref counted it as a knockdown, people would have, whether he got up would be different. But because he made a big song and dance about the low blow and that, it made it look a lot worse, I think. But I don't know if he's on the decline. We'll see when he fights another top opponent. But I think we'll see when he fights these guys. You know, I can't really comment too much on it really till we watch him fight Fury and X amount and who else. You know what I mean?
Before I let you go, I want to ask you a prediction on a fight that's going to happen stateside. Canelo's making his return against Charlo. Yeah. What do you make of this one? Obviously, a lot of people are expecting the other Charlo to be facing Canelo. Obviously, is the other one. What do you make of that fight? Do you feel like Canelo's, got it in the bag just to do what he needs to do on the night?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good fight for Canelo. I think it'll be a tough fight as well, but I can't see him bringing enough to beat Canelo, if you know what I mean. And it's always the Canelo show when he's fighting, in it. So he's going to have everything his way. I'm sure he'll be very confident. But I feel like when he's fighting, it's almost like sparring for him now. Nothing phases him. Nothing can really get under his skin, and nothing's really. He's not seen nothing. This guy's not going to bring nothing to him that he ain't seen already. So I think it'll be light work for him, but still a good fight regardless.
Tommy, always a pleasure to talk to yourself. I know you probably want to go and just chill now, but no doubt I'll see you on fight night, and good luck on your fight on Saturday night.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much. Cheers.